Interesting. We have a 9 of Pentacles. We have a 9 of Swords. So we have 2 piles here. And so this is 2 very different energies. Okay, so I feel like you could be the one here. This is the Star energy. So you could be the one, you know, almost in this healer, purifier, someone who just really is connected. I feel like you're very connected to Earth, to Mother Gaia, to your higher self, to higher consciousness, and you've gone through a purification process, which has helped you to rebuild and establish a strong position. Okay. And I feel like this bothers somebody, that you are the complete opposite of what they said you were. And it's like, it's visible. Like, people can visibly see that, like, you know, whatever they were saying, they were lying. So, and also they put a lot of work into this. This wasn't like this was planned. Okay. I feel like shit's hitting the fan over here with the Tower. And then I have someone's being exposed. And then I have, you know, these 2 in cahoots. King and Queen of Pentacles. Someone did something, you know, for personal gain in some way, shape, or form. I have, like, there's, you know, a need to maybe stop. All right, I feel like whatever is happening, it's not for the highest and greatest good, and there's a need to stop, whatever it is. I feel like there's a lot of, you know, lack of clarity and not feeling great, and, you know, maybe over emotions are running high. I feel like the justice system could be involved at this point. I feel like it has something to do with, like, a karmic couple here. So that's this pile. I feel like we've got some things going on in the background here. So I thought I would ask a couple questions, and I was going to ask, you know, and use the deck to kind of answer these questions. So I'm going to do a shuffle, and then we're going to ask a couple questions. Okay, so what I have is whoops. It's like when you are watching a reading or when you're doing a reading for yourself, okay? I want you to kind of like look for some of these clues in some of the cards, and you'll see them represented differently depending on like what deck you're using, okay? So let's see. The first question I wanted to ask is, what are the cards that we would receive in a reading to indicate universal law is playing out and a lesson's being learned? Can you show us what cards those represent commonly? King of Wands, King of Cups, 6 of Wands, Three of Cups, 9 of Wands, Two of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, and the Emperor. And then 7 of Wands. So I'm getting like they wanted to share the rest of the message. King of Wands. And they're like, this is a lesson. This is universal law playing out, right? We have the Wheel of Fortune here. So this is fate. This is destiny. This is cycles in life and things being recorded, and there being an account of things. And then we have the Emperor, which represents, our physical reality here, and how there is something that, we're all held to account, and that is that there's laws above man. Okay. And yeah, especially as to like how you treat others. And everybody has a choice, a free will choice on how to handle situations and do things from a place of love. And I feel like that might have been something that was mishandled, or that could have been like taken advantage of, or neglected, or purposely used against somebody. It's almost like someone's wounds being weaponized against them, kind of thing. Or their abilities, or like their abilities to do things, or their experiences in life, or something that they're developing and growing. And so I'm getting there's a bit of that. There's this like maybe someone having to experience like what it was like to walk in someone's shoes. At one point, like someone had to walk in those shoes and walk that path. And so that could be like a faded thing playing out here. Like recognizing all of these challenges and obstacles and accomplishments nonetheless. Right? They're lessons learned here. This is like lessons learned. So this would indicate universal laws playing out. And this definitely would indicate like where it is in the cycle of the lesson. And then this would be representing like mastery of something, right? You've learned what you needed to learn, because the Emperor is, very high up in that major arcana. It's like a major life lesson learned here. And so this is kind of unfolding the process. First card was the King of Wands, Knight of Cups, Six of Wands. Like being recognized for those 6 wands out of these 9, right? That you just overcame. Like there was a lot of lessons learned. Maybe six major life lessons or challenges you overcame. And I'm getting like everyone's celebrating your success. Everyone's recognizing like what you went through was massive, and you're living to tell about it. Right? And it just, solidified like you're solid, right? I'm getting like strong, solid energy here. So this is either, for the sake of someone's greater good, and there's something unfolding for their greatest good, or this is a recognition of like a job well done, right? And putting in that hard work and holding that line, and, not always doing things for the sake of like recognition, but doing things for the sake of like doing the right thing, right? Picking the battles as well. Like not everything is like yours to fight. Like sometimes we have to surrender it to the divine, right? And they'll intervene. So you might be like man on the ground. Okay. Man on the ground. Yeah. You're going to be rewarded for this. For sure. Look at this. Ace of Pentacles. That's awesome. Interesting. Wow. So this is a beautiful lesson being learned. There could have been so many lessons. So it's kind of like, this did ignite something within you. So you could have had to like take a lot of action towards something, and like maybe follow something that, inspired you. I'm getting like you're motivated, you're inspired, you're fired up. And people recognize that. It's like almost like a lion recognizes a lion, and they don't fear one another, they respect one another. It's like that. This is interesting. And then this Knight of Cups energy, it's like, I'm just kind of feel into this. I feel like this is, you know, there's something on its way to you. It's something that you need to go with the flow. Okay? There's no need to rush. It's going to come in when it's time, like divine time, right? This is not something that's being rushed. So there's things to still kind of like work through and accomplish potentially, but soon it will be time to, you know, celebrate if you're not already celebrating your success, which is amazing. And I feel like you're going to leave something behind so that this story can be told. Okay? So it's like you're going to change this from like feeling like a victim to, you know, having victory, right? I feel like there's a choice here too. Maybe that's what's playing out here. Maybe someone's loss very much could be someone else's gain, right? Someone's loss is someone else's gain, right? Here's that Two of Cups. There's that like alignment, right? Mirroring energy. This is like a destined type connection. Okay. You know, I'm always learning so much when I do this. Three of Pentacles. I'm getting this is for the King of Wands here. All right, so you could be collaborating with or working with, or coming into some sort of meeting, potentially. You might be meeting or agreeing to work on something. Maybe like consulting. I'm getting like you might seek their consult. Okay? And I feel like this is something that has the potential to grow. So that's who this King of Wands is. Okay? They may be known, whether it's by you or people you know. Like, I feel like they're known, like they have a presence. They're not hiding. You know what I mean? They're out and about, or you're about to be out and about. Look, I have Temperance. And then I have, okay, Page of Pentacles, Ten of Wands, Six of Swords. Okay, and then we'll go over this round. All right, we have the Two of Cups next. Yeah, there's something that is being brought into balance, and it's being delivered by somebody who could be King of Wands. Okay. So like they're a bit like they're like a go-getter, okay? And then I'm getting like it's coming through, like the divine is having this energy bring something to you. Okay? I feel like you've been like, it's something like you may be offered this. This might be as a result of something that you do, or it's something that you create. So I'm getting like there's something that's really cool coming in. It could be a job, it could be a project, it could be something that you create, right? The Empress creates and nurtures. I feel like whatever maybe you do now, or at some point you're gonna, you know, have to leave things behind that might be near and dear as a result of whatever this new thingamajig is. Okay? I'm getting you are moving towards peace and in a different direction than maybe what you're used to. You may want to also keep this a bit to yourself. Not everybody needs to know like what you're doing and how you're doing it. Okay, so a little bit, minding your P's and Q's and minding your business and not letting everybody know what's happening. Okay, not everybody has good intentions. Okay, let's see what these are. Look at Ten of Pentacles. It has the potential with this Two of Cups. Okay, so there's a lot of potential to grow something and develop something. I feel like someone sees maybe this potential and wants to extend. I feel like there's some sort of being able to help others in some way. This could be like volunteering, this could be teaching, this could be being supportive, loving, caring, kind. Humanitarian vibes is also the Queen of Cups, but very psychic, empathic, spiritual, very connected to the earth and just consciousness. And so I feel like there's something that you're meant to do and connect with. And I feel like there's energy here that wants to support you to do so, right? This is you stepping into that position of you're in charge of your situation and your reality. And so I'm getting like you're being rewarded for having the courage and standing up and doing what you wanted to do here. And I feel like there's like a blessing and a gift here. Someone is going to help support your abilities to help others in some way. You have something that you're meant to create. And what you do, what you're inspired to create, whatever that is, it could be sharing your medicine, your, affirmations. It could be maybe you do beautiful hair, I feel like this is a strong, it's everything is connected energy. Like we're all one. It's like oneness, unity, consciousness, higher consciousness. It's like tapping into the collective, right? And kind of showing the way, like through cycles. It's like interesting. And then with this Ace of Pentacles, it's like this is that opportunity to plant something new somewhere else and like allow it to have the capacity and space to grow. I feel like there might have been some stagnancy here that, it wasn't really somewhere to really invest. And so maybe there's, something that you're considering that could be in a different direction, whether it's career or where you live or the people you're around or what you're doing or how you're doing it. I feel like there's an opportunity for change with the Ten of Wands, right? So I was also going to ask, when we're looking at the cards, what indicates like some higher self, wisdom and knowledge, right? When we're looking at some of these tarot cards. This is certainly one of them. So, this represents, the 4 elements. It represents the 4 cardinal points. And it represents the 4 sons of Horus. Okay, and it also represents the natural cycle of things. And that the wheel is in constant motion. And it also represents like the law of motion, like the principle of vibration. So there's a lot of like really amazing points about these cards. And so I'm going to try to as they come to me, I'm going to try to point them out. Sometimes they're not that clear to me. So I always noticed about the Ten of Pentacles that there was always enough for everybody here. Like everybody's welcome. It's like very common to be surrounded by those, on many occasions. It's also like multi-generational, this card. It also represents somewhat sophisticated culture, as well as individuals. And I love that there's even like an upside down house over here, I think. Yeah. So there's some really great detail in this back here. I see a lot of roses. So it's kind of like that talks about like a bloodline and thinking about how to support those who come after you, like leaving something behind, almost like a breadcrumb. And I think if we pay attention to like many of those civilizations, right, that we talk about, they've left us breadcrumbs. And, you know, this is like being able to have access to those breadcrumbs and create with them. All right, because it's really a beautiful process. It's like the elixir of life, right? Like how everything was created, especially in this reality, and how there's this integration here and there's this awakening. Okay, and both feminine and masculine energies being equal polarity, tempered, which is here. You know, this talks about alchemy. This talks about, you know, changing something from one state to another. And it often can be continuous and in numerous ways. And this is usually when there's the law of rhythm playing out. And this is a bit of a, you know, esoteric construct, or, well, I would say more hermetic principle, but goes back to pretty much every story we've ever heard in any kind of religion to one extent or another. It also represents like divine, angelic, ancestral support, right? That we do have help, we do have support, and sometimes, you know, bringing something into balance is necessary. We may not always understand it in the moment. So I feel like there's a bit of that, right? Maybe at one point, you know, you were super hot about a situation, and then as time progresses, as things kind of, you know, smooth out, things kind of play out, you know, the water's tempered. It's not, you're not so hot about the situation. You're like indifferent. You know what I mean? That's the Temperance card. Like life's that way. And some people are here to do this as part of their existence here. Just them holding this space here and connecting and processing, they literally will be key in helping raise consciousness and our vibrations. So it's like being able to absorb and process the energy for the collective, and then transmute it to love, light, you know, peace. So there's a lot of ways in which to use energy, and it's really rooted from your intentions in your heart. And this is, you know, doing things from a place of love and making sure that you're not overpouring and depleting yourself of what you deserve, right? There's a need to also give and receive here. So yeah, that's kind of, you know, they're calling out to me to point certain things out. So I feel like there might have been something that you dealt with in the past that, you know, you might have been doing the pouring, and now maybe something's coming in that's going to pour into you, right? It's going to help you, support you. Like, what do you need? That's kind of what that vibe I'm getting. So maybe it's time for you to, you know, get some backup, right? I feel like, yeah, strong masculine energy coming in. All right, so that could be you. You could be like, I'm going to launch something this month. So you're in your strong action energy to wrap up some sort of deliverable, a project, right? There could be some sort of, you know, financial gain or recognition or even like a promotion as a result of your hard work here. You've maybe had to like, you know, really prioritize what details, what you're including, what you're not including in this project. Like, you know, it could do so much. I feel like, you know, you can't do all the work. So, or someone could leave the company and leave all the work for someone else. Something like that. Maybe there's a bit of fear of doing that, like not wanting to leave people in the lurch. When something new comes in, you could be a bit like, how do I handle this? So for some of you, it might be like you've got an offer coming in that's going to help you maybe leave something that you've been doing for a long time, and you're like, I feel bad. Like, I have so many projects going on, and I don't want to leave everybody like high and dry. I feel like you have to choose you. You have to choose what's best for you. Everybody else will figure it out, right? Let the boss handle it. They get paid the big bucks. That's for somebody who might be like, you know, having to make a big decision career-wise. Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting messages in this reading. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. But I feel like what you say matters. I feel like the things that are important to you matter. And you're going to find those that are like aligned with you or that want to work with you. But just know that like it's still always up to you. Okay. Make sure you review any fine print. Have someone else review before signing anything. Okay. Just to make sure that like all your bases are covered. Okay. I'm getting that with like, because this could represent like some sort of agreement, some sort of project agreement, or like everybody, it could be like a project. I'm getting like it could be a project or someone needing someone's expertise. So it could be like consulting potentially. Like they're both consulting a mason. Okay. Yeah. So someone with a specialty. Someone has a specialty. Someone needs a specialty and someone has a specialty. That's what's going on over here. All right. So you didn't go through all of that for nothing. That's for sure. Excellent. Well, hopefully that is some strong encouragement that like you are, you know, looking real great. So you're killing it. And something really cool is on its way. And you deserve it. You know you deserve it. Check it. Come on, like you deserve it. Come on. How awesome. Yeah. It's coming in. Just sit back, relax, and have some tea. You know? You're good.